Hello, welcome my beautiful people. It's been a while. I haven't really posted anything, but let's get into it. Today I want to create a video about changing, transforming your life for a better. This is not going to be another video to tell you get in shape, start to do exercise and start to eat well. We're gonna get much more deeper than that. I was wondering what video can I do to make it more meaningful this time, rather than saying 2 steps for this or 5 steps for that. So I'm not gonna have any steps, I'm not gonna have a lot of structure into what I'm gonna say, but there is gonna be a structure into the whole picture. I'm not going to lie, this year was really difficult for me, for my family, for my husband, for a lot of other people that I know. For some reason, I feel like the coronavirus, once it came and everybody had to stay at home, we can still feel such a big impact even right now. The way that employers treating people right now and expecting more and more and more because they need to catch up with the life and with the money and with the cash flow. The impact of coronavirus was huge, and I feel like everybody who I talk to these days, they've been saying to me that 2023 was the hardest year of their life, and literally when I truly tap into that, I feel like that was one of my hardest year as well. So I feel like this is nearly the end of the year. It's already autumn time. This is the time when you need to start reflecting on your life. You need to start to see what's been good, what's been bad, how to prepare yourself for this change. Because believe me, if you're not gonna do this right now and then you're just gonna wait until 2024 and you feel like on the first you're gonna make your 3 wishes and you're gonna say, this year I'm gonna do this, this and this, trust me, after 30 days you're gonna start treating yourself as you did in the past. You're gonna come back to your own habits. So stop this nonsense, new year, new me. Let's get focused on this year. Let's see what's been good, what's been bad. Let's do some reflections and then decide. The next 3 months will start a beautiful path for your next year. But you need to lay this foundation right now, not in 2024. So please subscribe, like this video, leave me a comment, and let's begin. This year was not the easiest year for me. So I'm not talking from the point of view where everything is perfect and I can just be myself and be happy. I had a very hard time as well. So the inner work that I had to go through was huge this year. It was absolutely incredible, but I've managed to do that. And there are some simple steps that I've done and the steps that I'm gonna reconfigure and I'm gonna start following them again from the scratch, because I feel like I'm not the person that I was at the beginning of this year. There are so much things that changed in me, you know, so many friends that left, so many family members and things like this. So let's get into it. I believe that everything in our life starts with our decisions. First and foremost, we need to decide what we want, who we want to be, and then how we want to get into that. Without a proper decision on your part, even if you're gonna win a lottery, the life gonna give you a lot of opportunities, you will never use that to your 100% abilities because you don't know how. You are not ready for it. You didn't make the decision. It's been given to you, and that makes all the difference. So first and foremost, let's decide who you want to be, what you want to focus on, what's been good last year and what wasn't. There are so many different things that you can do, but I would recommend starting from a list. Take a pen and paper or take your laptop and just write the list about everything that happened this year. So was it a good year? Okay, if it was a good year for you, why? What good happened? What can you learn from this year? What can you change? What's something that's still on your mind that hasn't been resolved yet? Are you still worried about your family? Do you still have some problems at work? Maybe something with money, maybe you want to start your new business or a new project and you just want to just write everything down. Just create the biggest piece of paper that you can actually imagine. Create the biggest list and write everything down. This is gonna help you, you know, to see your life more clearly, because right now everything is like in your head and things are not very clear and there are a lot of worriness right now about everything. And once you're gonna put it on the piece of paper, you will feel a small relief. Just tiny, tiny, tiny relief. But that will help you. So let's say I'm worried about my mom and her mental health. I'm worried about my dad. Why are you worried? Because this and that. My work is good right now, but I would love to be promoted. And then why do you want to be promoted? Is it because you want to have more money? Is it because you want to have more opportunities? Is it because you want to be loved and respected? Find the reason why. And then once you know what you like and what you don't like, what was good and what was bad, decide who you want to be and stick to this decision no matter what. Create a persona in your life. Okay, my persona, I've created Annabelle, and it really transformed my life. Okay, I said that Annabelle, so the person that I am, I wasn't that person back then, but I just said I'm gonna become that person. That person is loving, is beautiful, she's looking after herself, she put herself first, she is playing sports, she has some hobbies, she's got some projects going on, she looks after the family and the family well-being, she cooks healthy. So a lot of different things. I've decided, I've created that person in my head in order to know how should I follow this and who should I really become. Because believe me, you cannot become somebody without having a clear image of what you want. If you don't have a path in your life, a route, if you don't have goal, then you will just float around. You don't know where you're going. You're just gonna come from one post to the next, from one person onto the other, without having a clear vision to your life. So if you decide that 2024, it's gonna be a year when you're smiling, when you're happy, when you're glowing, you're gonna imagine that persona in your head and you're gonna stick to it. I'm guaranteeing you that anything else that will come to your life that's not gonna match to the image that you have in your head, you will just disregard it and move on. Okay? And I know sometimes how hard it is to say no to people, to say no to projects, but if you don't have a clear vision, you will just be okay with everything. Somebody's gonna call you and say, do you mind to pop in? And you'll be like, yeah, that's fine. And then you need to get ready, you need to dress, you need to go there, see that person. 5 hours later, you haven't done anything for yourself. You've been just chatting. It wasn't very productive. It didn't help you in any way. It didn't motivate you in any way, because maybe that person is not just really right for you. And then you're gonna complain that you don't have enough time. I'm saying stop complaining, focus on what you want, and anything that will come into your life which is not how you want it to be, just say, sorry, I'm busy, sorry, I can't do this, I would love to help, but I just can't do it right now. Believe me, there's so many things that you can push back, but people don't want to do it for some reason. But people don't want to do it. And why they want to do it? Well, because they feel like they're going to be bad people. Because they feel like somebody's going to take them off their will. or because in their head they're good people. Everybody, let's just stop believing that we are all good, because we can be good people, but as long as you're not good for yourself, you can't be good for anybody else. So I had really hard time saying no to people, especially to my family member that needed help. But I realized once I don't have time for myself and for my life and my family, then I can't help anybody else, because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to help somebody else without helping myself. I'm trying to give all my time to somebody without focusing on myself and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Then I start feeling resentful, I start regretting my decision, I start to push people away from me, and obviously there's so many different complications that will happen later on. So I sat down with myself and I said that this year I am ready to take it to the next level. Okay, I'm ready to become somebody that I can't even imagine right now so much, but I can have the glimpse of who she's gonna be. And that person will definitely be able to say no to the people that are not good for her life. And I'm gonna be able to say no to the projects that I'm not very willing to participate into. And I'm just going to focus on the things that I love, because I know that once I have time for myself and I'm truly enjoying what I'm doing, then I can actually help people. I can actually help them, not just trying to pick somebody's up who can't even help themselves. So decide who you want to be. Do you want to get in shape? Do you want to have more money? Do you want to contribute to your family more? Do you want to be more present with your kids or with your husband? Do you want to start treating each other with more respect? Decide what you want. And don't just try to change everything at once, meaning that if you're going to start to eating well, if you're going to start exercise at the same time, if you're starting everything at the same time, there's so much more possibilities that you're just going to drop it. You're just going to drop it hot after a few weeks, because that's going to be too much. That's not going to be you. So any changes, any small steps that you need to do, you need to make sure they're not like big jumps. Otherwise, you're always going to come back to what you've been doing. But in your head, you can start to do small changes right now, like small, very small habits that you're going to implement. And then once you're going to stick to the habit, you can implement another one and another one. And by the end of this year, there is at least 5 new habits that you can create and stick to. I think 5 is the healthy number, because anything above that, it's going to be a lot, you know. Even if you're gonna implement 1 new healthy habit a month, that's much better than not doing anything at all and just praying that life is gonna give you something free. So the one healthy habit that you can implement from today, it can be very light exercising, 20 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. I don't care if you don't have time, create that time for yourself and stick to it every single day. I think it's so much better to work for 10-15 minutes a day rather than going to the gym once a week and staying there for 3 hours, because you're just abusing your body. You are not helping yourself to become better you. So small habits, let's say if you know that you need to eat breakfast and you never had been eating breakfast, maybe start eating breakfast. If you feel that you've been shouting on your loved ones and this is something you want to change, then try to appreciate them more, and rather than shouting on them, pray on it, write it down, say it something inside your head, but just don't shout on other people. Small changes, but implement them small changes every single day, and that's how after 30 days of doing the same thing all the time, that's becoming your new habit. After 3 months of doing it, that's it. That's gonna be new persona that you actually created. Sometimes knowing somebody who lives the life that you aspire to is so helpful, because you can see that person in real life, and rather than being jealous of that person, see what they do, see how they act, how they speak, how they walk, how they present themselves, how they deal with the problems, how they can deal with the different situations that life throws in their lives, and just learn, just absorb everything that you feel. You know, you cannot come from this place to that place without making any changes and without appreciating all the people that already come all this way. If you want to get from that place to that place, you need to see that journey for yourself. You need to be willing to give a lot for what you want to create. So who you want to be, create that person in your head, write it down on a piece of paper. Imagine that you are living her life or his life in men's aspect. Imagine that everything that you've been ever dreaming of, imagine that it's already yours. Yes, I know it's a bit faking, you know, living in your fantasy, call it whatever. I think it's so much better to live in the fantasy world rather than living here, watching the news and being miserable every single day and just dealing with the problems. And believe me, I've been there, okay? For quite a few good months, I've been just focusing on problems and I've been attracting more problems, and I feel like every single day I was just ready for more problems. I was just like, what else life gonna give me? Okay, is it my family now? Is it my husband? Is it my cat? Like what other problems can I get on top of everything else? And I know I've been contributing towards it. I definitely was, because not even one single day I woke up and I asked God, what beautiful things you can show me today? what beautiful places you can take me today. I wasn't asking the questions like this. I was more asking like, oh God, another day, another problem. That's not what God wanna hear from you. You didn't come to this life to have a miserable life. You come here to take on the new project, to explore, to live your life to the fullest, to be happy, to have the people that you love and you can protect, you can lean on. This is all about beauty of life. But if you can't see that beauty within you, within people around you, then there's nothing that, there's nobody and nothing that's gonna help you to get to where you want to be. All you can see in your life is problems, problems, problems. I guarantee you, life will give you more problems. Once you decide of who you want to be and you will really go into that direction, I feel like straight away you can see small changes that will happen to you every single day. But you need to be willing to listen. You need to be willing to listen to the small clues and what the God is giving you. Some people tell me that, I've tried this and it didn't work, and I've tried this, and what's the point of trying if life will always bring me something that's miserable and life will always give you problems? Yes, but it always depends of how you want to look at it and how you want to deal with that situation and the problems around you. Because you can get mad, you can start shouting, you can start hating people, or you can just truly understand what's happening within you, what's happening around you, and keep moving. Keep moving towards your goals, keep moving towards your happiness and the life that you want to create and the life that you desire. This is the only thing that's gonna keep you intact, and it's not gonna allow you to go insane. I feel like right now I'm seeing too many people who have depressions, they have mental problems, they have health problems, all sorts of different things, just because they just can't deal with the life. So they put their head in the sand and they saying, I have problems with this, I have problems with that, and there's nothing I can do. Stop living in the victimhood mentality and stop saying that life is happening to you, because life actually happens for you and it happens within you. And as long as you can see that, nothing's gonna change. In order to have your beautiful life, you definitely need to have some boundaries. And the way you can create boundaries is by understanding where you're going and what you desire. And anything that's not, matching to the beautiful image and strong image, it needs to be strong. It can't be just like, oh, wishy-washy, maybe one day I'm gonna be a singer. No, it needs to be so strong and so on point that nothing else really matters. Your dreams, your desires needs to be so big that they're gonna wake you up in the middle of the night and you're gonna start writing, you're gonna start reading, you're gonna start doing something in the middle of the night, because that will take you closer to your beautiful life that you desire. And once your desire is so strong, then nobody else can take you from your path. And rather than seeing this as something that's gonna happen in 10 years time, 20 years time, 50 years time, try to imagine that this is happening right now. Try to see life as not something that's gonna be in the future or something that's in the past. If something really good happens in the past and you want it to be that way, just, relive that life. You've got all the tools, you've lived that life once. If you had a beautiful business, you've lost it, you can rebuild it, because you know how to get there. You've got the skills, you've got the mental capacity. All you need to do is transform and focus. Definitely, this is what I want, and that's it. But the question is, are you willing to pay the price? And sometimes the price is huge. Sometimes if you're focusing to create your own business, sometimes it's so difficult to link it with the family life and to have enough time for your children, for your spouse, for the lifestyle that you want to create, and for the work and for the money that you're trying to make. Sometimes it's going to be so difficult, and in some ways, in some situations, you need to be willing to pay that price for what you desire. There's literally always a shadow to something that you're willing to create. So for example, in my case, it was people around me. I had to cut myself off from a lot of different people, and sometimes they were like very close people to me, and I was willing to pay that price because I've seen that the positiveness was so much bigger. The positive things were so much bigger than the negative. So even though I was willing to pay that price, I gained that much. I gained my sanity, I gained my time, I gained my freedom, I gained also a time to be able to do more things that I love, and then I can give more towards other people. That's why you need to create strong boundaries around your life. And I know it's hard. I absolutely get it. And especially when it's a family member who is keep calling and keep needing your help, sometimes you need to be like, stop. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm not willing to do that. I'm so sorry, but this doesn't work for me. You don't have to explain yourself. Just have some boundaries around what you're doing and around your life. If there is a person that he's not good for your life, and you're still willing to take the crap from that person, then that just shows that you don't have any boundaries. If that's the boyfriend that you're meeting right now, and he's keep treating you bad, and then you ask like, what do I supposed to do? Like, just cut him off. As simple as this. Don't waste your time waiting around for other people. Don't waste your life on other people, because there's only one you. And if you are not willing to create the beautiful life of your dreams, then nobody else gonna be able to do it for you. I understood very early in my life that people gonna take as much energy from you as they can, and they gonna leave you dry. Like, people sometimes are like vampires. They only expect more and more and more, but when it comes to giving, it's not a lot of people who can give freely these days. People want to use you. People want to use you at work. Your family members want to use you. Boyfriends, like, men right now, they want to use you, and you need to know how to protect yourself from all those people. You need to know how to protect your time, and you need to know how to create strong boundaries. Sometimes people gonna get mad on you. All you can do is say, I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me. No explanation needed. Unfortunately, as women, we have much harder time to create boundaries because of how the society molded us. Like, for example, I can see this from a very early age, when a small girl, when she doesn't want to do something, the parents will say, oh, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do this to you, or if you don't do this, I'm not gonna give you that. And we are teaching people that if they don't want to do something, like, we are teaching kids that they don't have their own wills. They just have to do the way we want them to do it, or they just have to live the life the way we want them to live, and that's not the case. And being honest, this is the way that I've been raised up. I just had to, I feel like within my family I couldn't really speak freely, especially next to my dad. He was always the one who knew better. He was he was the man of the house, and when I truly sit down and I had to do all that inner work within me and see how I took that image, with myself, this impacted me in two ways. Actually, it impacted me because I was expecting people to be the same for me. So if something wasn't going my way, I was kind of expecting them to live and behave and be the way I want them to be. And it also impacted me because I was sort of afraid of speaking my own truth and telling what's good for me and what's not, because from the very young age I wasn't allowed to speak freely. I actually feel like we are trying to create a society that's gonna be what's the word? Obedient? I think that's the word. So when people will not have their own brain, they will just do what other people are gonna tell them. And when you don't do this, they're gonna get mad. Are you following? From the very young age, you need to sit in the classroom. You cannot speak when nobody is asking you. When you want to speak, you need to raise your hand. It starts from the very early ages. And then when you're trying to speak at home, parents are too busy to listen to you, or they're, trying to get the dinner ready. Your mom is trying to do something. Your dad is he's just too tired because he just came back from work. When you're growing up and seeing all these things, you start to believe that you are not worthy to talk, you are not worthy to express yourself, and nobody wants to listen to you. Sometimes it can take just one situation to start to have these beliefs, and sometimes that is going to be imposed on you. Like right now, there's so many other things that's happening around the world, and especially for women, we need to be really careful because our nature is about giving. We have been created in the way that we need to give back to society. We need to look after our kids. We are looking after our husbands like they're big kids. We need to give yourself to the family members, especially when you don't work. Okay, there's a lot of people expect a lot from you because hey ho, you don't work, so there's so much other things that you need to be doing. And the truth is, no, you don't have to do anything as long as this is something that you desire to do. People can say, oh, she's so good, she's so this and so that. The good girl syndrome, you want to please everybody, you want to show that you're a good person, you want to prove yourself. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. And that's something that was in my life for a very, very long time. I wanted to prove myself to other people rather than proving myself to me. And it took me many, many, many years to realize that I've already proven myself and I've already surpassed this image that I had back then. I was doing so well in so many different aspects of my life, and still nobody told me congratulations, nobody told me, thank you so much, or nobody told me I'm proud of you. And as soon as I started to realize that I've already proven to people, to my family, to my friends, and to myself, like I've already surpassed this, then I stopped doing this and I just started to live my life. And now is the moment to ask yourself, once you're gonna take all the people's opinion from your life and you're just gonna realize your life is for you and you are the only one who can live that life, there is a magic happening. Magical stuff gonna happen and beautiful things gonna come to your life, because from now on you live for yourself. You're creating your own life on your own terms. Nobody else can tell you what the hell you're supposed to be doing and where you're supposed to be and what time you're supposed to go to bed. Sometimes the dreams that you have, they can be so big that other people gonna doubt. Other people are gonna try to take you down, they're gonna start to bringing you down because first of all, they are afraid of seeing you change because they're not used to it. And the fear that people have, it's real. Especially sometimes when it comes to our partners who can't keep up with us. For example, if you've been with your partner for sometimes even a few months, but even like few years, and then all of a sudden you're gonna start wear different clothing, you're gonna start speaking different, you're gonna elevate yourself, you're gonna just level up, and they can't keep up with this. The first thing they're gonna do, and this is not something that they do to harm you, but they are harming you. They're gonna try to bring you down. They're gonna try to bring you down, and they're gonna make sure you're not ahead of them. It happens in friendships as well. So if one of the, if there's even a small bit of competing with one another, if one person's gonna try to do something better or bigger, or they're gonna start to make more money, the other person either is gonna cut themselves off. They're not gonna think like, why they doing this? They're not gonna say, all right, she's doing so much better, I'm getting jealous, I'm not feeling right in her company, therefore bye. No, they're gonna create something completely different in their head. She's this, she's that, without understanding why they cut that person off in the first instance. So it's so important to see other people's intention in your life. And I always say, the less you speak about your actions and your goals and your dreams to other people, the less disbelief you're gonna have in your head. Because as soon as you're gonna start telling your dreams to other people, they're gonna try to bring you down. Maybe because they don't like you, maybe because they just don't understand your they just don't understand your situation because they are not in your shoes. And I remember when I went to college, I studied travel and tourism. And after that, I really imagined myself to be within the film industry. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be editor. When I started talking to my friends, when I started speaking to my family, when I said to my teacher what I want to do, believe me or not, I can't remember even one single person that tell me, yes, girl, you can do this. I didn't have anybody around me who would really support me and they would support my vision. I only had me. And if I would be listening to everybody else, I wouldn't be in the place of my life that I am now. I would probably end up in the factory, working there for another 25 years. I haven't been traveling around the world. I wouldn't go to my university. I wouldn't meet all those people, and my life would be so different if I would be listening to everybody else in my life. Not even one single person told me, yes, Annabella, you can do it, go for it. There were so many different fears in people's head, beginning from my parents. They said, oh, well, we don't have anybody, we don't know anybody within filming industry. Can you not do another course? Can you not pick something that we could help you with in the future? My teacher told me that because I don't have any experience, there's no chance that any university will take me on, and stop wasting your time. This is unrealistic. You don't have any portfolio. My friends would be laughing, saying like, what do you know about film and stuff like this. And when I went to a few interviews, I was rejected. It wasn't as easy as I've been praying on it and stuff, because and no wonder why I was rejected, because I didn't have any experience, and that's normal, okay? But if I would believe the people who rejected me, and if I would believe people that were around me, I would just give up and say, you know what, maybe you're right, maybe I shouldn't even go to university, maybe I should just get a job and live like this. But I haven't, I was always the person who, I never wanted to give up. Never. If there was something that was so true in my life, and like even when it wasn't true then, but I really wanted to be true, I would give 100% of myself to get what I want to get. So that's what I'm saying. I've been already proving myself so many years that I already surpassed that person that I tried to be. After a few university rejections, I went on another interview and I applied again, and I got accepted. And I just realized that even if I wouldn't go to university back then, I would still make that choice later on in my life to come back there. But I didn't know myself so well, and again, I took all this, people tell me this and this and this. I just truly believe, like, stop giving people free advice, because that advice can be very damaging to other people's life. But I was the only person who knew what's right for me. And if I would be listening to everybody around me with everything, I would end up in a factory working for a stranger person, probably never meeting my boss, because they are big companies and you're nobody to them. Let's be honest. If you're there, the next day you die, they're gonna get somebody else. And that's how it works in this life. If you are blessed and you've been living in the family that really supported you and supported every single and supported like you through the entire life, I think you're in really good situation and really good position, and take advantage of that. Get to know yourself so much, rather than wasting your time partying, doing taking drugs, playing games, going out and seeing people without any sort of idea of what you're expecting from them. Rather than doing this, really focus on who you want to be, what you want to do in life, and like how can you contribute to society as well. And this is so profound, and I started to think about who I want to be, what I want to do, and how I want my life to look like since I was very, very young. And now when I asked my nephew I've been asking him since he was 13 or 12 who he wants to be, and everybody would keep telling me he's too young to know, he's too young to know. But now he's 18 and he still doesn't know and like he still doesn't know his path. And I believe that people supposed to have that deep desires within them, who they want to be. And if the life is telling them something else, and if it's not gonna happen, then that's fine. But as long as they know their path, there is so much blessing and clarity and focus in that. Obviously, I'm not talking just about work, because that's just a very small aspect of our lives. There is a lot about education, how you want to spend your free time, who you want to give your time to, how you want your relationship to looks like, how do you want people to treat you, how do you want people to speak to you, what sort of friends you want to have. Those simple basic questions is going to create your entire life. So if you're asking yourself why my life is miserable, why my life is like this, simply speaking, it's because of the choices that you've made in the past that brought you to where you are now. And as long as you're not gonna reinvent yourself, then nothing's gonna happen. I had a friend who was very clever, who was very she was educated, she was good looking, she had everything going on, beautiful in her life. But still, every time when I see her, she was doubting herself. She was saying how ugly she is. She had this story in her head of the persona that didn't even exist. When I was younger, in my head, I always said to myself that I have an ugly nose. And I was comparing my nose to other people. One time I even thought, I was very, very young, I thought of maybe one day I'm gonna have an operation. How crazy that was. But this is the stories that we've been telling to ourselves without really seeing the truth. And you can see now the teenagers who have the story in their head and they saying that they ugly. They portraying themselves completely different than what the reality is. And I feel like we are allowing them because they are just kids, but those kids, they're going to be an adults. And a lot of adults taking problems from the teenager years. That's how it starts. So even when they're adults, they keep telling themselves they're ugly, they keep telling themselves they're fat, they're trying to diet, they're trying to exercise, but because the image that they have in their head of themselves, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm this, who cares, I'm just gonna eat donuts. Where do you want to get your motivation from? How do you want to become the person you want to be if you're taking old stories to your new life? Forget about what you've done. Forgive yourself. Forgive all the people who has damaged you, who has damaged a lot of things in your life. Forget everybody. Live free. Live new you. And then once you know what you want, the next step is obviously write everything down, but don't write it in the way that one day I'm gonna be beautiful or one day I'm gonna become a doctor. Write it down as if it will already happen. Imagine yourself in 2, 3, 4 years time. If it's easy for you, let's take it as a year, or let's take it as 2, 3 months. Just do a small exercise and see, write yourself something like, I really appreciate my life. It's been amazing. The past few months has been so good, and I've been blessed with a child. I've been blessed with a beautiful body. They are appreciating me in my workplace. My husband is so caring and loving. And write a letter to your future self. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yeah. So imagine you're 3 months, 1 year down the line, writing an email, writing a letter, writing wherever the hell you want. Okay. But write this down. Don't just do it in your head, because that's not gonna work. You need to write it down. And I believe that rather than writing down on computer, I believe in pen and paper. I believe pen and paper is a truly powerful tool that we are not using enough to create our lives. And we need to do that, okay? We need to start doing this more and more and more. So get the pen and paper, write whatever you want, honey. all depends what you want. In my situation, it was definitely my hair. I had very, very short hair. I've bleached it a lot, I've damaged it a lot, and I have to reinvent myself. You know, my new me didn't have ugly hair anymore. My new me had beautiful hair. My new me was doing some sport classes. My new me had a husband. My new me had an animal. My new me had a kid. My new me had all the time in the world to cook healthy meals and to look after her family members and love. You know, my new me had a YouTube channel, which I was waiting for. I was procrastinating for quite a long time. I'm not gonna lie, that's a scary thing, you know, to talk to people online, and I know I would probably experience a lot of hate again, especially, you know, within the family. A lot of people would try to bring me down, and they would say, you know, it's laughable what you're doing, you don't have anything else to do. You know, all the things that it wasn't just in my head, it's reality, but who cares? I'm like, you know, 2023, I've experienced so much good and bad, and I'm gonna take that onto my next year, and it's gonna be so much better than ever before. Something I'm gonna talk about briefly is the gratitude, and because I think I've talked about it in a few different videos, but I also want to just touch on that. Every single day, if you're just gonna say what you're grateful for, what good has happened, if there's anything that if there's anything that you are waiting with, saying thank you to anybody for doing good to your life, and you know, simple things like even the fact that you have an air to breathe, the space that you have in your home, the house that you have, and it's protecting you from rain, from cold weathers, from everything. Your husband who is protective, so protective, and he's providing. Your kids who are smiling and they're healthy. Like, be so grateful for the things that you have. And I can see that even like with my mom, she literally have everything in her life, like she has so much, but I feel like she can't appreciate anything. She always looks for a new problem in her life. She always say, I have a headache because this and this happened. I'm like, Mom, this is nothing really for you to give a shit about. Don't care. Stop caring, you know? Be grateful. Change your focus from one thing that is so bad onto the thing that is so good, and the life will bring you the good things. The law of attraction works only that way, and it's been proven to me hundreds of times in my life, and I truly believe this is the fact. This is what it is. And you can talk all day long and say that I don't have anything to be grateful for. Stop with this healthy, positive nonsense. I mean, come on. If you haven't been experiencing the gratitude in your life, you haven't been left, because there's always something that you can be grateful for. And don't tell me it's not true. Even the fact that you breathe, even the fact that you can move your body, you can move your hands, the hands do what we want them to do, your legs do what you want them to do. I'm sorry, you have the right to talk, you have the free will, you can speak freely these days, unless you're living in a very conservative country and you need to be worried for your life, but I don't think you're going to be able to see them videos, so that doesn't apply to those people. Just stop the nonsense. Cut the bad problems that are not so important and live your life. Everything that you heard in this world, it came from somewhere, but your core beliefs, I know they are so hard to change. You can actually change it if you really want to. The core beliefs is something that your mind feel like without your core beliefs, your life would collapse. And that's why people who truly hold themselves in what they believe without opening their mind and trying to see different aspects of life, and maybe say, maybe that other person is right in what she's saying, or maybe he's right with what he's doing, apparently he's got the life that I want, so maybe that person is right. Okay, all it takes is opening up your mind, stop living in yourself and believing that whatever you believe is right, because I'm 30, I'm nearly 30, and I know I'm only starting to walk. Okay, I'm only starting my life. There's so much more things that I can live. There's so much more things that I can learn, and I'm never close-minded. I never say that what I believe is always 100% true. I'm never afraid to say sorry if I'm wrong. I'm never afraid to change my beliefs if I see that it's gonna benefit me. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. So if any of you wants to live in that negative mindset and you want to believe that that complaining and nagging and focusing on bad things gonna change your life for better, well, good luck, because I think you've already proven to yourself that it's not gonna do good. Okay, like my beliefs, I had belief that no matter where I go, when I was looking for work, they will want me. My core belief is that if I want to get a job tomorrow, I'm going to be able to get a job tomorrow. It had to start somewhere. I had to start going on those interviews, even though it was so hard at the beginning. I was sweating, I couldn't remember my name. Few first interviews, people told me I did great, but inside me, I had so many fears, and I didn't have belief, like I didn't have any self-confidence whatsoever. I didn't even have any skills. Like right now, you can take my skills from one job onto the next, but before that, when I was just straight from university, the only thing I had was being a teacher assistant and having my own personal, communication skills or whatever that was. I had to take that one thing and I had to make it so big that people wanted to employ me. Simple. Okay, like right now there's so much experience that I have in different fields, but it wasn't like this before. But I had to believe that I'm good enough. I had to believe that I'm worthy. I had to believe that even if I'm not gonna work, even if I'm gonna stay at home, I still have a lot of skills that I can use and a lot of things that I can give to other people. So it's not like I live without any purpose. It's not like I don't do anything all day long. I had to believe that the life that I want to have is good. And I can still hear people, even like up to today, even my family members asking me, why the hell you're not coming back to work? You're using your husband, why you're not helping him? So many different comments and stuff that I've experienced right now, even from the closest people that you wouldn't expect them to say things like this. And I always think like, that's nothing to do with you. Okay, my life is my life. Mine and my husband, we have chosen that way. It works for us. Next month maybe something else is going to be working for us, and that's absolutely fine. But if I would be listening to all those people, I would be afraid, ashamed. I would be already looking for a job, or I will already doing something in those aspects. And the truth is, this is nobody else's business. Nobody else can tell me you live wrong, you live well. I feel like if you're getting certain results, that means you're doing something good. And the people who don't live the way I want to live, people who try to get into my life and tell me comments about what's good and what's bad, I always look at their lives. Do they live the way I want to live? No. Are they even close? No. So why would I be bothered? Why would I even look at their lives? Why would I take on board what they're trying to tell me? I don't need a free advice. Thank you so much. I don't need you in my life. Or I don't need your advice. People will love to give you free advice, but I would say probably out of 200 advice that you have every month, maybe one advice is actually good and you can take it and implement in your life, so you will get better results. Well, finishing off that video, you need to brainwash yourself. You need to brainwash yourself into believing that your life is amazing, into believing that you are worthy, into believing that you are lovable. There is not enough of this in the world, and rather than trying to give people very cheap nonsense advice saying you need to do this, you need to do that, just focus on your life and really live to your fullest self, because this is the only time when you can actually help somebody else without feeling depleted, without feeling exploited, without feeling like everybody's taking away from you. and you don't have time and willing anymore to do anything for yourself. Reinvent your life by starting this small, those small steps today. Reinvent your life by implementing very small daily habits, new habits that will truly make a difference, because you will teach your brain that by doing this one simple thing a day, you are worthy, you are trustworthy, and you can, you keep going. You've done this one thing, and then you can do another thing, and then you can do another habit, and then you can implement one more thing. And believe me, they've done the studies when they show that one good habit in a day that has been implemented actually change everything else as well. Sometimes you can improve just one aspect of your life, and everything else or a few other aspects of your life is gonna be improved. Sometimes there's only a relationship that you need to improve, and then your finances gonna get better, your situation, your health is gonna get better overall. So it's not like you only have to, it's not like you have to focus on everything at one point, because then you're gonna just get mad, you're gonna get distracted, you're gonna feel like nothing is actually good in my life. Just focus on the one thing that is so good right now, and something that you can even make it better, and then try to see how this can help in other areas of your life. Okay, I promise it's gonna get so much better, and I actually hope that 2024 is gonna be a magical year for all of us. If you're gonna listen to this in already 2024, this is gonna apply it in 2025, 2027, 2000 whatever. This is something that's always gonna be crucial. Okay, your self-esteem, your self-worth, getting new habits, keeping your boundaries intact, and just being grateful, gratitude, loving life. It's simple, but we are trying to complicate it so much. I hope that video helped you. If you can take just one simple thing from it, I much appreciate you, and please leave me a comment. Tell me what you feel is helping in your life. What new strategies, what new habits did you implement this year in order to help you to grow? I would really love to hear about this. Thank you ever so much. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.